chapter number 41, and I'm starting to read from verse number 11, and we shall go up to verse 13.
Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed.
That were incensed against thee.
And confounded, they shall be as nothing. And they that strive with thee shall perish.
Shall perish.
Thou shalt seek them, and shalt not find them.
Come on.
Even them that contended with thee.
Yes.
They that war against thee shall as nothing, and as these of naught. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand.
I, the Lord thy God,
saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee.
Tell your neighbor, fear not, the Lord will help you.
Fear not, the Lord will help you.
Tell somebody next to you, say, fear not, the Lord will help you.
Fear not, the Lord will help you.
The Bible says in verse number 11, behold all those who were incensed against thee. Which tells me right there that there are people who are incensed against you. Now, let me talk to you some here. When you look at you may be seated, sir. When you look at the word incense, what comes to your mind? Incense in the Old Testament symbolized prayer. Incense is what they put on the altar to lift up the smell unto the Lord. Are you following me? But the Bible now says, behold, all that were incensed against thee. So which means there are people who lifted a smell of incense, not for you, but against you. People that prayed prayers, people, remember, prayer is communicating with divinity. So there is nothing very complicated about prayer. Prayer is communication with divinity. That's why everyone can pray, but the question is, who are you praying to? So they incensed against you, they prayed against you, they burnt incense against you, they made sure they raised an altar against you. And Isaiah is saying, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. So the first level is the incense that is against the families and family members. That's why you can never live without prayer. When I hear umzabane uti, no, I'm going to leave the church and go and try something else. What are you going to try? You are entering the enemy's camp. You are entering in the camp of the people who have already incensed against you. If you're going to go there, you get no help, but you're going to die completely. And Isaiah is prophesying. He says, look, there are people in your past. Look at the word incense. It is a past. Shah is a future. Are you following that? So there are those who did something in your past. But in the future where you are going, they shall be ashamed and they shall be confounded. But between the past and the future, you are here. The where and the shall, you are in between. So you need to navigate and survive the in between. And the Bible says, they shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Which means now, there are those who are incensed against you. Now there are those who are striving with you now. They are monitoring spirits that are following you now because they are striving with you now. The Bible says incensed, they shall. And he said, those who are what? They that strive, that is present continuous. They shall perish. So which means now, on this journey, I have got issues I'm dealing with from the past incense. And what I'm dealing with here, continuous strife that is in my life, which God must bring perishment to them. Let's continue verse 12. Thou shalt seek them, and shall not find them, even them that contended with you. There are things and people that contended against you. To contend is to go against.
They
They that war against thee.
shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught.
They that war against thee shall be as nothing and as a thing of zero. So which means there is war here. Are you looking at it? So there is a strife, there is a war, there is incense, and there is contention. That's why you find today people can try to push things. When you survive incense, you are messed up by strife. When you survive strife, you are messed up by contention. When you survive contention, you are swallowed by war. That's the reason why you need to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of us, we don't know what our past holds. That's why we don't understand our present and our future. The biggest mistake in any religion is in the foundation. We are today enjoying the benefits of Christ because Christ being our foundation of what he did. But a family also has its own foundation, which was built by the people that introduced certain cultures, beliefs, and rituals in the family. Are you following me? This is the reason why Bazabane, different surnames, different reveals different kinds of attacks. That's why you find that because they incensed against your marriage, your businesses were incensed against, your prosperity was incensed again. You are born again and everything works well, but there is this area that can never let go. When you look in your family, everyone has got no husband. They have what I call a spirit of occupancy in form of a human being. They come to date you for 27 years and they don't marry you. Some of them, they marry and they leave. It's like there is a period that comes and they can't exceed that period because you must not remain married. Why? Incensed. Am I communicating? That's why there are people today who have been working for many years and they still got nothing to show. Instead of them to produce, they are sinking sand financially. They are worse than when they were not working. It is not mismanagement. Never be cheated that it is a sign of mismanagement. Don't be cheated that it's a sign of selfishness. There is a force, there is a strife, there is a war that says, listen, you are not going to get anywhere. Because some of you, the enemy want to make you so broke that you make it normal to come to church without giving an offering. And the day you reach that level, you must know you are finishing. Go. Let me tell you what Pharaoh did. When Pharaoh wanted to change or to increase the Egyptians, he said every son born must be. And you leave who? Because ladies are converted by the seed. Ladies inherit things. You women, you don't manufacture anything. Any woman I marry today, her life will be determined by me. So the man who come in your life can bring poverty or success. Depends what he carries. That's why your things might have been going well. All of a sudden, everything is dwindling because it is what you have inherited. Remember, Pharaoh wanted to increase the Egyptians by killing the what? The Israelites, because he knew when the Egyptian marries the Israelite, they put a seed of an Egyptian into a woman. What has a woman become? An Egyptian. Because number one, when she's married to an Egyptian, the name will change. The seed will change. So what she produces is not an Hebrew child. She produces an Egyptian. So what happens to you is that what you produce is not dependent on you as a woman, on your intellectuality, your spirit of success, your liberation, your freedom. It's what comes into you is what is going to determine what will happen. That's why women, Can I talk to you a little bit? Because you carry the seed, you determine the direction of the family. That's why when you come alone, when and the rest, you marry a woman who was having a very nice English name. Okay? She was called Carol Isaacs. All of a sudden, you remove that wonderful name and you put your ugly name there. But she has got to submit to that surname. Are you understanding? To that surname and give up on us, because why? Women, they inherit, they don't manufacture. Then on top of that, you are going to produce only what is after the surname of your husband. Then when you come and look at a family after 10 years, you won't find who was Carol Isaacs. You will find Bakankuna Kupele. Isaacs is swallowed. So what is ruling here is the God of the Nkuna. Is the altar of the Nkuna. Is the power of the Nkuna. Are we together? So what starts to happen now, without you realizing, you are responding to the altar which is not only in your bloodline. That's why marriage can change you positively or it can change you negatively. So we men, we must be very careful. Even how we take how we make children and leave them alone. How we change women, we must be very careful. Men must be very careful how you go around breaking homes, breaking marriages, breaking virginities of innocent girls. You must be very careful. Blood can be against you. Blood can be against you. Then when you come and marry, your marriage cannot stand because there is blood fighting you. Innocent blood is fighting. It starts to fight a woman who came to give herself freely to you and happily that you have found a partner. And yet a partner has been a murderer sexually, has murdered people sexually. At least I told you. So it's important for us to understand. Let's move with it. Let's move with this. Let's move with this. So when it comes now to families, there are spirits that start to attack people in families. Number one spirit is when we change the order of the family. Somebody say changing the order of the family. Women become men, men become women. That's number one. Number two is when men become unfaithful to their own wives and they feel what is outside is better than what is inside. Then everything starts to change and everything starts to turn around. All right. Then when we start to keep secrets and hiding things from one another, we break the covenant. People are staying together, but we are not together. Because we are together, but we are strangers. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. I'm going to build this thing up very soon and you're going to get this thing right. So whatever you do, you must know it's going to follow you. It will follow your generation. Some of you here as mothers, what you are doing to your own husbands, expect your children to do the same thing to their husbands. Hence, in the Bible, you find that marriages were arranged because they needed to have a certain sign from God that was going to convince them that this person is going to carry the assignment. How many of you remember when Isaac was supposed to be getting married? What happened? They sent the servants, and when they went, God gave them a revelation. He said, we're going to stand by the well. You remember? At the well. And we're going to do what? Ask for water. Because that's where women come. Women come to fetch water. There are no men at the well. There are women at the well fetching water. It was so specific. Even in the New Testament, Jesus met a woman at the well. There was no man at the well. Jesus met a woman at the well. Doing what? Getting water. Then they said, a woman who comes here, when we ask for water, if she's going to give us water and give the camels water without us asking, that's the one. Many women came and gave them water, but they never gave the camels. Then who came? Rebecca came, gave the water to them and gave the water to? The Spirit said, this is the one. They were convinced there was a sign. What sign do you have about that man you want to marry? What sign do you have about that woman you want to marry? What sign do you have? Maskulum, What sign do you have? And any road with no sign, you'll be lost. That's why I like people come and say, Dad, checking this thing. Is it real or what? But the others, they fear. They don't tell me check. Because they are not ready for the answer. They have gone already a mile away. They say, any verse is on Klopala. So, Dad, just pray. So, now, here is the thing. Here's the thing. How do these attacks on families come? Let me help you. The first place that causes attacks on the family is when spiritual conflict takes place. Write down spiritual conflict. Spiritual conflicts mostly occurs when we enter new territories. That is inhabiting evil spirits. You enter a new territory, and as you enter the new territory, they start to tell you, Laikaya, or Tinabakakoza. When you come here, this is what we do. Our God is there. That's then you must know you have entered a place of spiritual conflict. And when that happens, you must know you have already entered. First, by covenant, you are inside. Now you need to survive that situation. Somebody says spiritual conflict. Number two, it may not be my marriage or relationship. It's when you went into a place for consultation. You go to a nyanga because you want to be helped by a sangoma. There'll be what? Spiritual conflict. You must expect spiritual conflict to bring war in your life. When that war comes, if the spirit of the area overcomes you, your things may go down. That's why anything that depicts to be that reveals to be spiritual, don't undermine it. Spiritual realms are like snakes. No matter how small it is, the venom is the same. You will never say this snake is small. Bite me. The venom is the same. So you don't say, no, it is just this green rope I'm putting in my pocket. Yeah, Uncle Menas Van Van. He's not a nyanga, he's a herbalist. Because they try to convince us about the difference. Spiritual conflict. A lot of you must know, when you enter in a place of spiritual conflict, it's gonna be like Joshua entering a new territory or Nehemiah entering in a place to rebuild the new walls. A lot of us, we want to build new walls and bring new beliefs and bring order in a family where there are powers. You have entered a territory. You are a young man and you are entering a place where no one gets married. You check all of them. In that house. None of them is married. All of them got children. All men have run away. And you enter. You entered in a new territory. If you don't tie up your belt, you are in trouble. You don't enter there thinking of how you're going to have sex. You enter there thinking how you're going to break those walls.